Welcome.
Back in the saddle again.
Welcome back to the bar.
I'm back!
I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back.
Turn on the energy.
In the saddle again. It's nice to be back here. We took a week off from being behind the bar last week.
We did.
Because we were kind of feeling, chill. We kind of just did an audio version last time, which was cool. Mm-hmm. But it is nice to be back. Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to the bar.
Welcome to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
With JR.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a JR.
Well, that's a blast from the past.
This is one that I used to get a lot of, and now it's an occasionaler, but I still like it.
Ooh, that brings back memories.
Still a good time, for sure. Still a good time.
I never really thought that a beer would bring back memories.
Absolutely.
But there's something about the taste of this beer, like my mouth is like,
Yeah, dude, absolutely. And I think the memories associated with beers, and I'm sure everybody has some with different types, but sometimes you go through phases where you only get that one type like a lot.
Yeah.
And that's just the one you're into at that moment in time.
Yeah.
So it kind of brings back some phases of your life of maybe when you're really into this beer or really into that beer, and
Yeah.
Everybody obviously switches it up a little bit and has their favorites, but sometimes you just have to only buy that one thing because you just love it so much. And that was definitely, one of the things about this beer, that's for sure. But we used to get bottles of these. We used to get all of the different varieties. I believe we used to get like 2 4s.
Yeah, that's right.
And just now it's mostly just cans, but we used to get whatever.
I used to be anti-can.
We'd stack 2 4s like there was nobody's business.
I claimed that the taste of the beer didn't taste right.
Oh yeah?
In a can.
In a can? So you were always buying bottles?
Yeah.
Just because you felt like bottles were the best option?
Yeah, I find they taste better. I still do.
Yeah, you still find bottles are tasting better than cans all this time later.
Yep.
What about draft when you're getting out of a keg and you got a nice draft going on at a bar or something? You got a full keg and you're just getting it off a tap. Can you notice much of a difference?
I find it tastes flatter.
Yeah?
When you get it out of a keg, yeah.
Well,
the only reason why I do that at a bar is because it's cheaper.
Yeah, and it depends how long maybe the keg's been open for or whatever, right?
Yeah, could be that too.
Mm-hmm. But it definitely has a different taste to it when you're getting it out of the tap or when you're getting it from wherever. That is for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what a beer connoisseur might say, but I feel like beer in a bottle, like a glass bottle, is a way to rock and roll.
Fair. And naturally, if you're gonna keep it, you can keep it any way you want, but people keep it in bottles, people keep it in cans, like especially if you're making homemade stuff or like craft beers or whatever.
Yeah.
It depends kind of how you want to keep it yourself. Like I think I was going for more if you're making your own beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to bottle it, can it. I think most people just use bottles, but they don't stay good forever, so you got to kind of watch that. Nice.
I'm back!
Nice. She's back, baby.
I am back. Mm-hmm. All of my glory.
But yeah, homemade bottles of beer, they don't last too long. It's like homemade wine, it lasts long enough, but not like super long or anything like that.
Well, does homemade beer / wine last longer or shorter than bottle?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, homemade beers and stuff, they last not as long. I think that's what we were going for, right?
Did you say
longer or did you say shorter?
Well, I just didn't know.
Oh, fair.
So I said longer or shorter.
Oh, fair. Okay, nice. Well played. The homemade beers and the kits and stuff that you bottle yourself will last a shorter amount of time, if I'm not mistaken, than, more of a kind of bigger style beer that's produced in mass quantities, I guess what I'm trying to say. I'm pretty sure.
I honestly have no clue, so.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Interesting. Interesting. I keep thinking that this is a spider. I think I said that the last time we were down here.
Maybe.
There's like a
Is there a mark?
I don't know what it is. It looks like a fluffy, but I can't scrape it off. So maybe it is a fluffy and it's underneath the resin.
Could be a Fluffy just kind of embedded in there or something like that.
Cool, embedded Fluffy.
It's quite possible. It's quite possible.
Sweet.
Embedded Fluffy. We're going to look at some antique video games tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how we're going to get there yet, but
we'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
What antique video game do you hope to possibly see that's not in your collection right now that you're just like, that antique video game could be cool to have? Because I know they have a lot of video games coming and going, so it's going to be interesting to see.
I'm going to let the game find me.
Oh, nice.
Yep, I'm going to let it find me.
Nice, okay. You looking for like more Super Nintendo stuff?
I think so. Just
is that
because,
like your pocket right now?
Yeah, because I'm out of Super Nintendo. Even though like I really haven't been playing a lot of video games.
Yeah.
But
yeah, video game wise.
Well, I watched you.
I played a little bit. Yeah.
But that's just because I got flustered, and I can't play video games when I'm flustered. I can't
that's
do
fair.
it.
That's fair. Okay.
Even though maybe I could. I don't know. I can force myself to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I've been very busy.
Yeah, but in a good way, completing projects and whatnot.
In a good way. I've just been busy, and I'm starting to notice I have completely lost my ability to organize and prioritize my time.
Oh, fair. You just kind of swallowed a lot of projects, and now they're just kind of there with you, and you're like, okay, we've got all these projects. Where do we go? Which one do I work on? Which one do I poke away on?
When you see that, when you see that stack, either in a grocery store or any store, a bookstore, and you see that stack of things, and it's this beautiful stack, and you feel that if you touch one of the wrong things, the whole thing's
like you're
collapse.
Playing Jenga with projects.
Yeah.
And like your like Jenga board or your Jenga tower is like projects, and you're like pulling the projects out and putting them in.
And you're
but
on
you got this whole
limit.
Jenga thing going, and then you're trying to pull out the projects, put them back in, move them to the top. Yeah. And if you pull out the wrong project at the wrong time, it'll just collapse your whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of
Jenga on a time limit.
I kind of took your analogy and added Jenga into it as a form of kind of stacking projects, because I kind of get that feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you have different projects that you want to either finish, or you have some started and you're trying to figure out what project to poke away at and do, but it's hard to get all your time like lined up right, so you're just kind of like
yeah.
And then that one that kind of gets bumped off to the side, and sometimes you pull out the wrong one and you're like, bah!
And then you have to make the stack again.
Yeah. Building your tower all over.
It's been a struggle.
I think maybe with time you get better at building the tower. So then that way you can set up the projects the way you want them to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the key. Maybe that's like the thing, you know.
Yeah. I used to be good at it.
If you look at projects like a tower of Jenga, you got to set it up in a way that you'll be able to just pull the easy ones out and pull the ones out that you want, I guess, more and stack them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times with Jenga, you can't pull out the block that you want. Like you kind of want that one, but it's stuck. So you got to go for this other one.
Yeah.
And so if you look at it from that perspective, I think that's a pretty neat way to look at it.
And eventually you will get that block.
You will, but
sometimes you can't go for that block first.
Exactly. And sometimes if that block is super stuck and the tower falls, well, that block will get put back in there and you got to find it again, right? So sometimes you got to just restack your Jenga tower and, try to hammer out another project or something. But that's true. That's true for sure.
And it's tough when your projects, for the most part, are creative.
Mm-hmm.
Because you only have so much creative juice in your brain.
That's true.
And sometimes you don't have any creative juice in your brain. Sometimes you're brain dead.
That's fair. A lot of times it can happen.
You know?
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree. But we actually just wrapped a music video.
We did.
So our newest music video just wrapped. And we're not rapping in it, but we are cats. So if you want to see us as cats, then check out the new music video that we just wrapped, because that was fun to do.
It was fun.
It was super fun to make that video. I definitely had a good time.
Full of dust and nasty, So you better watch it because
Yep.
I sacrificed myself.
Yep, she was a cat in a dusty box.
It was gross.
And the box gave us some challenges out of all the things. The dusty box kind of threw us for a loop.
It was really gross.
Yeah. But, you know, we got it done, and we were cats in boxes.
Yep.
And it was a good time.
We were cats doing all kinds of things.
Absolutely. We were playing instruments.
Yep.
And...
licking ourselves.
Yep.
Walking.
Uh-huh.
Rolling around on the ground.
Eating string.
Yes.
We were eating string.
Yep.
Playing musical instruments, kind of.
You said that.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure that I covered everything.
Okay.
And I was thinking of too many things. So...
Gotta watch that Jenga tower.
I'm just saying the important things to make sure that they're in there. But yes, it was fun to make that music video.
It was.
It was fun.
I had a good time.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I've made a few music videos over time, and this one was super fun. And I love the creativity that comes in, especially speaking of music videos. And I think that there's so many great music videos that need to be reminded to people of how awesome music videos are, because a lot of them get made and then they just kind of, they're awesome for a few months and then they kind of get sided into the shuffle.
Now, like, it's not the same as when we were kind of growing up.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I still think the impactfulness of a good music video will be endless.
Yep.
That'll be going forever and ever
and ever.
Does
Much still do countdowns at the end of the year?
Ooh, like the best music videos of the year?
Yeah, like the Much Music Countdown.
Oh, yeah. I remember I used to look forward to the Much Music Countdown. It. Yeah, exactly. The Much Music Countdown, end of year, top best music videos of the year.
It was a thing. You sat in front of that TV.
The Much Music
Video Countdown. You watched all of those 100 videos?
Yeah. Yeah, did they do 100? Is that how many they did?
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, I thought
at
it was
least like
I thought it was 50 or something like that.
No.
Much Music top
pussies.
100 music
They
videos.
didn't show all 100 of them.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
They kind of had to listen and they picked and choose which ones they showed.
Except for like the top maybe 20 or something, I think they showed.
Top 10, top 20, they showed all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I totally remember that. The Much Music Video Countdown, top music videos of the year. That was something, like you say, I watched that, I recorded it if I could, but oftentimes they would repeat it enough that you'd be able to catch like most of the parts of it.
But it wasn't the same.
But yeah, if you recorded it, you could watch the whole thing and you can watch it all amazingly. Yeah. So I don't know if in today's day, the Much Music Video Countdown, I haven't seen it in the past few years, but I also haven't really looked for it. You know, because most of the music videos I watch now, I just maybe throw on YouTube or something like that to catch a music video.
Yeah.
And to keep track of like top 100 for a year, it's, you know, it's not that it's hard, but there's a lot to come out. You know, your favorites are kind of all over the place. And I don't really know if you know, Much Music still rounds out the top music videos of the year or not, because I haven't, you know, looked for it. So they might still be doing it, but I haven't caught it in the past few years. So
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So now for me, it's like if I want to see a music video or kind of what's coming on, I guess the main source is probably getting it from the internet, from YouTube. And then from there, you know, just whatever else, if you see something coming out.
Yeah.
Do you have any memorable music videos that stick with you as
all kinds? Some
of like your best music videos that you watched it and you were like, man, that's a good one?
Oh, there's so many. So many. I don't know if it's because I was listening to Elvis today, but this is a video I don't even know if you'll remember or if you'll remember, but it was by, well, it was a little less conversation from Elvis, but it was the remix. Was it Basement Jaxx that did it, maybe?
Oh, that's kind of like coming back to me a little
bit. The video was very much like Jailhouse Rock, but modernized, and it had like the, how do I describe this? Like levels I guess. You know how in Jailhouse Rock it was like, I don't know if you remember Jailhouse Rock, but it was like, you know, and it had like people in all of the boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And behind the box was just like a big light. It was just a bright light, so it was mostly just people's shadows, like dancing.
Yeah,
and every once in a while
I'm having memories of that because it's been a little bit, but that was a very standout one.
I remember that video too because me being an Elvis fan since I don't even remember not listening to Elvis. It was a surprise to hear a modern group remix one of his songs.
Cool.
So it was really exciting, and it was different, and it was cool, and it was like edgy, but modern. It was neat.
Yeah. And I think, you know what's crazy is I wrote down a few things because I came up with a few music videos, and just because you said Basement Jaxx, that was not that exact music video.
Where's your head at?
That exactly is... Where's your head at?
That video freaks me out.
I looked at different music videos, and for the time that music video came out...
Way ahead of its time.
That music video, to me, it is like the #1 music video... That's like the freakiest music video.
It's
the Basement Jaxx, Where's Your Head At music video. It was so like different. It was so different for when it came out, and I was like super young when it came out. I remember watching that music video, and these monkeys had like human heads, and they were transferring like brains from like people to monkeys, and then they were playing the instruments with like the human heads and singing the song.
It was creepy.
I just remember watching this like, what is going on right now? But yeah, the Basement Jaxx, and it's funny that you said that. Because that was going to be my most like memorable music video.
Interesting.
And it still is today.
I don't remember if it is Basement Jaxx that does that remix. I'll have to double check that because I did not have the opportunity to sit and research as you did, so I'm kind of going off the fly.
Yeah, I just took a few seconds and I looked at some music videos and I kind of tried to look at some of my favorites from over time. But the Basement Jaxx Where's Your Head At music video for sure is a standout for me, if not the best music video ever, and it still holds up. It's just so freaky. It's so weird. And when those monkeys show up, man, and they start chasing the guy, and then right at the end, the dog shows up with like the human head.
Oh,
and he's just like the dog just comes in right at the end with like the head, and it just like starts like, yeah, it's a freaky music video, man. And the song's good, but the music video is like.
Yeah, it's weird.
So yeah, that music video for me is definitely a standout as far as like going back to some music videos.
Yeah.
And I think you gotta mention, you know, some of the people that maybe push the limits of music videos, especially for their time where they were making them. Yeah, Michael Jackson and Madonna, I think, are two huge people that for this time that they were in to make these music videos, I think they opened up a lot of doors for music videos. If you look at like what could be done in a music video and like what has grown from these things, I think those are two huge artists for me for sure.
Yeah.
They just pump the the gas pedal to be like, we're just gonna do this, and everybody was like, oh
yeah,
like whoa, like, they just got that huge like, wow, what?
It was kind of two different ways
that
they
big
did
like
it.
Reactionary kind of feedback.
Yeah, which was interesting. Like Madonna was very she liked to evoke controversy in her music videos.
I think evoke.
I think it's evoke. Yeah.
I think that's right.
I think so. Like she was all about the controversy with things like Vogue, with things like Express Yourself, and like Virgin.
Yeah, for sure.
Stuff like that.
Exactly.
And then Michael Jackson made many movies from his music videos.
Yeah, Billie Jean.
Yeah, Billie
Thriller.
Jean, Thriller, Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal, yeah.
Yeah, like those were all just mini movies, which was really incredible for that time.
It's so
I
true.
think
even now, yeah. And I think the mini movie for a music video is such like a storytelling thing if you can pull it off to do. Because most songs are 5 minutes around that mark, some more, some less. 4 or 5 minutes, but at the same time, if you can make a music video that holds your attention for like 20 minutes, half an hour, it's like enough time where the song just keeps going and going and going, but yet you're still so intrigued into the whole piece. There's a few people that I think have been good at making the long music videos.
Besides Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I watched a few longer ones from Kanye West, who's really good at that too. He does some good long music videos, and have you seen the Runaway music video that Kanye did? The music video is like 34 minutes.
I don't think I can handle Kanye for 30 minutes.
It's an art piece though, man. Like this music video, it's 34 minutes of just pure art and people dancing and things, flowing together. It's just got such a crazy flow to it.
All right, I'll have to
it's 30 minutes, I think. Yeah, no, 30 to 35, somewhere in there. But the Runaway music video that Kanye made, and I think that was, I'm not going to put a year on it because I kind of don't know, but it was a little bit, a while ago from when we are now, but that music video still holds up to me as one of, the best long music videos. It's over half an hour, and it's just such a good piece of art and music together that I don't know. I think Kanye's done a great job with a lot of his music, not only his music but his videos too. Like there's just so much intrigue and power in some of the videos that I don't know. I like them anyways. I've always enjoyed his artwork and his music and stuff, and I think he does a great job. So
he's a little grandiose for me, which is
fun,
but I don't know.
We have super different tastes in music too, so like some of our stuff is similar, some of our stuff is, a little different.
Is there anything that I listen to that you don't like?
Let me see if I am probably on the spot. I won't be able to pull something, but then like as soon as you kind of like toss something out there, I might.
Trying to think.
Yeah, I'm trying, because I'm pretty open with my music, but you listen to stuff that I do usually like.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of dislikes from your library that I have, because you listen to a lot of things that I'm also listening to. So it's kind of hard.
And sometimes you surprise me. Like sometimes, like
yeah,
I'll think you're not gonna like something.
Yeah.
And then you do. Because I do listen to a lot of really heavy stuff every now and again.
Yeah.
And I never know if you're going to like that.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing with me and some of the heavier songs is I have to kind of grow into them, because my taste for like heavier style music is like, it's come a long way, but it takes me a little bit to get into it. You know
that's
what
fair.
I mean? Whereas I can get into kind of hip hop and R&B and that style, I can get into that way easier than like heavy kind of rock, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So for me, I have an easier time listening to hip hop than I do like heavy rock, like death metal rock, like that sort of style of music. It's just, I can listen to it, but I have an easier time with hip hop, and I enjoy hip hop more than say listening to, it's probably because I'm a drummer. So my hip hop ear, and I love beats because I make beats. So that's why I love hip hop, because I just love the beats. I just love listening to people's creative music ideas.
I like older hip hop.
That's understandable.
I like stuff from the 80s and 90s when it was a lot more rebellious and edgy and underground. Where now it's like a lot of it is all that like, I got money and bitches and hoes, and I just
nice.
Like that's good. Good for you. So do I. Suck a dick.
Yeah.
Like
I think some of the cleverness that comes with some of the sampling that was done on some like older hip hop songs.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of sampling that was really well done to make some older hip hop that just in today's world, it's a different time for sampling, and it's a different time to try and use a sample or stretch something from the past to bring it in. It's hard to do it right. If you can get it good, but sampling is tricky, and I feel like there was a pocket in hip-hop history where sampling was everywhere, taking old stuff, putting it into hip-hop beats, and it was just working so good. And if you listen to those songs, like the sample hip-hop, like, I don't know, maybe I'm going to say 80s, 90s, kind of, I don't know, something like that pocket, where they were using a lot of, like, 60s, 50s samples to put in these 80s, 90s hip-hop beats, and it just worked. Like, it was just working so well. So there's this sound that's hard to reproduce because it's just from that pocket of sound,
Yeah.
And, modern sampling, and granted every day people are trying to use samples, but to get it right is so hard that it's like it was almost perfected like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of like, how can we do it and make it work, but yet you don't know, can you put the I Got a Woman sample in again? Or like, what do? You know what I mean? It's like, what sample do you go with, right? So it's kind of one of those things,
I've noticed that with modern music and sampling, it's not... I don't even know if you would call it sampling anymore, because people just tend to take a portion of an older song and cover it in part of their song. And then either they'll switch up the melody and just kind of go back to their own tune, or I've also noticed that they'll keep the same melody but write different lyrics for it.
Fair.
And then keep the chorus, let's say, the same as the original song.
That's fair, yeah.
I've heard that, like with those old 50s, 60s music, because I grew up listening to that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the
Do-wop.
The interesting thing is that the actual super interesting thing is that the dance song that we just made the music video to is actually that's a sample. That's a sample that I used in that song, but that's a sample of one of our old songs. I sampled our old song, and I made it a different version.
But what is the difference then? And I think we've talked about this before. What is the difference between a sample, a remix, and a cover? Because all three of those things use someone else's music in them, but they're all done a different way.
Yeah, well, to me, like, if you just want my opinion on that, a sample is when you're using a part of another song, the actual audio clip of another song, and you're putting it into a new beat, a new melody, and that, to me, is a remix, because you're using that sample of an old song.
Okay, you just said that it was a sample and a remix.
No, but a sample is just a word to mean that you're taking an audio clip out of something old. You're sampling something old. You're just taking a clip out of an old audio clip.
So what's the difference then between a sample and a remix?
I think you're probably looking for what's the difference between a remix and a cover.
No, I'm looking at the difference between a sample and a remix.
Well, a remix is the actual song, like your new version of the old song, and you use the sample in the remix. So the remix is you using a sample to create the remix.
See, I find the way you're explaining that is confusing.
Is it?
I understand, yeah.
I didn't think it was.
It sounds confusing because it sounds like they're the same thing the way you're saying it, but they're not. So a sample in a song would be if you write your own song, but you use a portion of the music from, let's just say, Aerosmith for your chorus.
Yeah.
That's a sample.
Yeah.
A remix is when you take an old song and just fuck it up, essentially. You're using the same beat, the same lyrics, the same music, but you're tweaking it and adjusting it and moving it around. That's a remix.
Yep.
So the way you were explaining it was you take a sample and put it in a song and then it's a remix.
Yep.
But that's not necessarily the case. Because you're not just taking a portion of a song for a remix. You're taking the whole song and remixing it.
That is a very interesting area of music that I totally understand what you're saying. Because you can say that you have an original song that's using a sample, but it's not a remix of the song.
Exactly.
So that's another way of saying it for sure.
All remixes have samples, but not all samples have remixes. Or are remixes.
Yeah, sure, that's close enough.
One of those things?
That's close enough, yeah. But a remix of a song is definitely, like, you're using a lot of that song and you're remixing it and maybe adding some stuff or whatever, but it sounds mostly like the original song.
Yeah, like, I would consider Cats in the Basement with our music video.
It's more of a sample.
See, I would consider it a remix.
Yeah?
Yeah, because
that's crazy.
You're using the original song and tweaking it. And
adjusting it. It's a remix, but it's using a sample of the song though.
See, I wouldn't say a sample, I would say a portion.
Yeah.
Because you're taking a portion of the song and remixing it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were sampling the song, you would have written your own song and then used that for part of your song, and then you're sampling it.
That's kind of what I did.
But you didn't, though. You didn't write anything. You just adjusted the music. Didn't you?
Yeah, but I created a whole beat and I created a whole song that I placed the sample over. So
okay, so I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah.
So you did write something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or create something, however you want to say it. Yeah. And then put that on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, but it's a very interesting area because I totally see your perspective on it.
Yeah.
And it's a super fine line between saying, did you remix an old song or is it a new song with a sample of that old song?
And then
it's a weird area.
Come in with that?
It's a weird area. Yeah. And definitely, if it's your own stuff and you're remixing your own crap, then there's no copyright issues because it's your own stuff.
But if you
if you wanted to just grab something from someone else, then you'd have to ask them and be like, can I use like this 10-second part of your thing to do this? And that's a whole weird area in music, and that's a whole thing. But yeah, I know, I kind of like talking about that because it's an interesting place in music. It is. Sampling, original work. How much of an original work can be original while you're using a sample before it's considered just a remix? Like, it's a weird bubble. It's a weird bubble.
And I also feel that this kind of discussion now happens in visual art too. Mm-hmm. Because things like collage have gotten really popular over the last few years. Collage is super popular, yeah. And when do you draw that line of you're stealing someone else's shit and calling it your own?
Yeah.
Right? Or you're just using something from somebody else and making something new from it.
There.
Like it's a weird...
I know. It's a
weird thing.
It's hard to see that area in art where is your original vision versus you using a little bit of someone else to help you with the original vision.
Yeah.
It's like, how much did you use what somebody else did to come up with your original vision? And you have to put original vision in light quotes if you're using something else to get you there. I mean, there's only so many chords you can play on guitar, but at the same time, like, if you listen to a song and you're playing it a little too closely, it's like, there's always a fine line. But I think as people, we need to understand that, inspiration happens a lot of times when you hear or see something else that somebody else did, and you might not be trying to copy, but you're just so inspired that you have to just keep rolling with that thing or whatever, right? Because you just heard something or saw something that really inspired you, and now you want to come up with your own thing based off of some inspiration that you got from something else. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool to try and find that fine line between like your original idea and something that might be a little too copy.
I think for me, the best example of a sample in a song is 8 Mile from Millennium. The chorus is Aerosmith. It's Dream On. But he changes it. Like, to me, that, I don't know.
Is that song? I think that's that song. Yeah. Okay, I just haven't listened to that in a while, so it's not fresh.
The chorus is Aerosmith.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not fresh right now because I haven't heard the song in a while. But yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of like his own impactful way of doing it. Yeah. See, so that's cool. And I mean, I think that's, you know, as artists, we all want to, you know, inspire each other and come up with cool stuff. But, you know, if you have an original idea based off of someone else, go for it. But at the same time, it's like, if you want to use a sample from someone else, just ask them. They'll probably let you, or you'll figure something out, you know, for the most part. Because if you have a cool idea, you know, do it. Mm-hmm. Some other music videos that I thought I would give some mention to are Fatboy Slim.
Which one?
With Praise You. The Spike Jonze one where they were just all dancing like crazy and they were outside and they just filmed random dance moves and they got some dance groups together and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to also say, you know, a person who's made a lot of great music videos is Spike Jonze. He's worked with Weezer. Okay. He's worked with all kinds of different people. He's made a ton of music videos. I think he's got a lot of original music videos out there that are awesome. I've watched a lot of them. And what else? There's a new music video this is a new one that I really liked. And it's got a big spaceship. And this one just came out recently. And there's aliens. And
that's cool.
David Guetta's in it. Black Eyed Peas. Shakira's in it.
David Guetta, Black Eyed Peas, and Shakira.
Yeah, this is a new song. It's very new right now.
Interesting.
It's called Don't You Worry.
Okay.
And it was directed by Director X, and he's done a bunch of different music videos too.
He's in charge of.
So he made Don't You Worry, this new X-Men? And it's a super cool dance song, but there's like aliens in it. And then the Black Eyed Peas show up, and then all of a sudden it's like, don't you worry. Like, they're about to, like, save the day or whatever. Like, okay. Black Eyed Peas are back. Like, coming to bring in the good energy, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Telling people not to worry. Like, everything's going to be all right. And then the music videos is giant spaceships and aliens, and they're all just, like, dancing and looking. And then, you know, it's a pretty interesting music video, and the song was really cool. So that's a new one that I wanted to kind of put out there because I like that music video. And I like big blown up alien spaceshipy things. It's totally my vibe. So
intergalactic.
I love it. I love the robotic one. The robots.
The big bug.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Fighting. Yeah.
So that's totally my vibe. When people bring in robots and aliens and spaceships, I got an alien right here. So you know I love that vibe. That energy.
But not really put dinosaurs in music videos.
Oh, we gotta maybe make some with dinosaurs or something like that. And then I think that was about it for what I wanted to mention. Beastie Boys. Johnny Cash has a couple good heartfelt music videos. Yeah,
that's a cover. You know that, right?
Yeah. But that music video though is like super heartfelt.
Yeah. That's
and Johnny Cash has a few other cool, not only a ton of good songs, but a few cool music videos too. And I guess that was all I kind of wanted to mention for music videos and stuff. And I mean, there's so many. I can't even, remember them all. But
so
I've just been so into music videos lately.
The last one that I'm just like thinking of really obscure ones. Mm-hmm. And I remember this from the Much Music Countdowns.
Okay.
And I feel like it's a song that we don't really think about very often. It's Millennium by Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
And
that song was huge.
That song was huge.
Huge. Robbie Williams, Millennium.
Huge. And that video, too.
Yeah. Super huge.
Granted, not my favorite music video in the world, But
Millennium.
But it was pretty groundbreaking for its time.
True.
And I don't know how much of that video you remember.
It's been a slice. I gotta refresh on that music video. It's
pretty basic. Like, he's standing kind of in this big gray space, I guess, that has like a bunch of TVs around him, I think is what it is.
Okay.
And he slowly, like, he starts off in a suit, and he slowly just kind of starts taking off his clothes and whatever, and he gets down to his tighty whities, and then he goes to pull off his tighty whities, and he ends up just pulling off all of his skin, and he's just all muscle.
Oh, gee, I feel like I'm having like flashbacks of this. I'm kind of like remembering this music video.
Yeah, that was pretty wild for that time.
Yeah, that's true. That was a huge song, and
that's probably like what, early 2000s?
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s.
Like
that sounds about right. Late 90s fading into the early 2000s. I want to say maybe the year 2000 right on, because the song is called Millennium, so that would kind of fit.
Yep.
But that was a powerful song.
And another really good one,
super good,
was Freak on a Leash.
Oh yeah, Korn.
Yeah,
Korn.
Where
the bullet was going around.
That was a cool music video.
Yeah, Freak on a Leash was sweet, and the bullet was going all over the place.
Yeah, and
Korn really did a good job
glasses
with that.
And
and
then they had
some slow motion stuff.
Yeah, and then integrated with that was the cartoon with the little girl, and she was running up the hill.
Yeah, totally.
And then that was integrated with the album cover.
That's right.
Which, that whole concept. True. I'm not a huge Korn fan,
but the concepts they came up for that
thing,
visually
super creative, visually,
conceptually
phenomenal.
Like something else. Yeah, for sure. Korn had a lot of creativity. If you want to put them into a creative aspect that is hard to reach, that music video alone.
And they are a very original band.
Super.
You know when you hear a Korn song.
Super. And I always find that Super Nintendo.
Super. Thanks for asking.
It's hard to do as an artist, and it's hard to do, individually or as a band, to have something where you can just listen to that thing and that it's that band or that artist or whatever. It's hard to do that because a lot of bands and artists don't want to necessarily sound kind of the same all the time. But if you really like what you're doing and you're super into it and it sounds good, then just rock it. Yeah. Make it more awesome. Just polish it. Keep polishing your awesomeness. Nice. But yeah, that Freak on a Leash music video is crazy for sure. There's definitely a lot of art in that.
Yep. Beer done.
Did you wrap up your beer?
Graceland.
Yeah, Graceland. Elvis.
Yep.
Did you say you knew someone that was going there soon, Graceland?
I don't know that person, but when we went out for dinner, there was someone seated at the table.
That was talking about going there.
Yeah. She was talking about how she was going on this multi-place road trip.
To Tennessee?
She said Tennessee, and there was a couple other states that she was going to, but she wanted to tour these areas of where really hang on, I'm looking for the right way to say it.
Yeah.
Major points in music history happened. Where certain things came out of certain places, like Memphis, right? Mm-hmm. Where that style of music came from. And I can't remember where else she was saying, but New York is another one that kind of sparked a lot of...
And you said she was maybe going to go look at some studios? There's music studios?
I feel bad for not being able to remember the street, but there's a street in Memphis that has, Sun Records was there. I don't think it's there anymore, unless they kept it. I know a lot of Sun Records closed down. Rest in peace. And there was a couple other studios there that Elvis, Johnny Cash, I think Buddy Holly, they recorded there, and
Cool.
she was gonna go see some of those.
Yeah, super neat.
I was just kind of eavesdropping, so.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, you just kind of heard some people talking about going to check out some music
that's
places.
cool. Yeah.
I think that could be something that maybe down the road we would do too. I mean, is go check out a lot of music studios.
I would.
something, you know.
I'd really like to go back to Memphis.
Yeah, we didn't spend enough time there.
No, and when we went to Graceland, I was so overwhelmed that I would like to go back a second time.
Totally, cool place.
Now that I kind of
got your bearings.
Got my cherry popped.
Got your bearings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, take it all in for another time.
Yeah, I'll probably cry again.
Yeah, you can never go there too many times.
Oh, fuck no.
It's a pretty cool historical place, and just the amount of just, I don't know. I don't even have a word. It's just a historical place that's amazing, and it'll forever hold, you know, a monumental amount of energy or something. I'm just kind of out of lack for words, but it's just somewhere that's really awesome.
Yep.
Without being too detailed.
That's another episode.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
It's another episode.
Yeah. But yeah, no, for sure, it was good. Good to be back at the bar today.
Yep.
And the interesting areas of sampling are a conversation that can be carried on. And I
carry on my wayward soul.
Exactly. Sample that. And we'll just leave it at that. Bye, everyone.